Hey YouTube, what's up? Just thought I would do a quick video of kind of an update on stuff that's going on. Haven't done a video for about a week and a half, something like that. And I probably won't really get a chance to do them that often. A lot of it depends on things that are going on with me. For instance, this past weekend, I had my daughter for the weekend, so obviously this wasn't really an option, so which is fine. I don't mind. As things progress with me in the whole transition, there will eventually come a point in time where this is kind of the norm for me on an everyday basis. So, and speaking of that, I think in my last video, episode 2, I talked about the center that I went to and the application that I put in for, to begin therapy to kind of get this whole ball rolling. As any of you that have ever transitioned or, are thinking of transitioning know, therapy is kind of, point A, so to speak. So I'm really, looking forward to that. They actually called me yesterday, which was awesome. I was actually on my way back home from my mom's house, and the therapist called me, and they have an available session Friday, actually, March 1st. So I'm really, really hyped up and excited about that. And so yeah, that was, I've been really impatiently waiting since it was, I think, Thursday before last that I went and spoke to the people down there and submitted the application for them to call me back. And so yeah, this is kind of a surreal time in my life right now. It's really kind of strange to think that I'm actually going to be doing this, and that I'm really getting ready to begin the actual process and not just talk about it or think about it or whatever the case may be. I'm actually moving forward in all of this. So my wife kind of doesn't know about all this right now. I mean, as you guys know, she moved out. Friday will be 3 weeks ago, due to my coming out to her as being transgender. And she kind of, I guess, mentally can't grasp it. She's a little closed-minded, which is not her fault. I mean, obviously this, kind of a weird topic to bring up to your partner, especially if you're married. So it's kind of, I understand where she's coming from, and she's not exactly supportive, but at the same time, I'm not being, no one's gone to court yet or anything like that, so that's good. And which is not something I really expect, but at the same time, I still think that in her mind, this is kind of still a phase that I'm going through, more or less, that it will pass, because we have gone through this a few times in the past where it was more or less just, is blah. From what she thought, more or less like a cross-dressing habit. That, everybody's gone away to work, so I would just frolic around the house and do whatever. And I've always, I guess, to a point, kind of never really elaborated with her that it was anything more than that. So obviously I can understand that, this is kind of a lot for her to take in, so I don't really blame her for that. I mean, as far as the whole, I don't know, it's weird because, there's a lot of trans men and women out there who are able to remain married with their loved ones and their families and carry on life like it's no big deal. And to a point, that would be great. but I really don't know that she would be the one that I would want to actually transition with, just because of the fact that, it's something that thus far she's been unwilling to educate herself about. She's, it's not like she's, that I know of anyway, that she's gone and, like Googled anything or anything like that to try to, for her to have a better understanding, solely for her sake and not for mine, of just, but to have a better understanding of what I go through being this way, which is not bad. I don't mean being this way like the devil or anything like that, but you know what I mean. It's, you know, um, transgender people, we cannot help who we are. And, it's hard for her to think, 'cause when we had the argument the other day of, well, she says, well, it's not like you've done, this must be what you want because you haven't done anything to try to fix it. You haven't done anything to remedy the situation. So, little does she know there's no magic pill that takes away her up here. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, I wish there was. I mean, I think a lot of us, to a point, even though once we get to this point where we're accepting of ourselves and we just embrace ourselves in the boobs, we, to a point, I mean, there was definitely different pivotal moments in my life where I would have loved to have said, hey, you know what? I'm going to go see that shrink downtown and he's going to give me a magic pill to make me be a man. Sorry. No such pill. And, yeah, so it just doesn't work that way. There's really no reversing this. There's either you embrace yourself, you learn to be happy and accept who you are, or you don't. You live your life unhappy. Basically the whole living a lie. I mean, it's what it is. It's what it boils down to. And if that's, if you're that person watching this right now, and you're the person that's just unwilling to take yourself out of whatever element you are at in your life right now, to be that the woman inside or the man inside, whatever the case may be, then that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm 32 fucking years old. I've been dealing with this, since I was at least 8, I would say. So, yeah, it sucks, and it's definitely, my adolescence was a difficult time for me because it's one of those things where you don't really know how to cope with it when you're that young. You don't really know what it is. You just know that you feel the way you feel. You grow up and, you see all the girls in their pretty party dresses and this, that, and the third, and you wish you could be that person. You don't know why, but you do. And at, 8, 9, 10 years old, you don't really think, your mind is not developed enough to know that it's okay, that there's help for something like that. I mean, I was an 80s child, so, 8 or 9 when I started figuring things out in my head that, something was off, so to speak. Obviously I'm not going to go up to my mom in 1989 and say, Mom, I think I'm a girl. And my mother speaking of my mom, real quick sidebar, I told my mom today. So, my mom is like so awesome. My sister who lives with my mom, she's known for a while about all this, and actually met Christine in the flesh. But my mom, who has seen me in the past as, infemme, or whatever you want to call it, she has seen me before. So she knew that I had this side of myself, but at the same time, I never thought that she really knew how deep the rabbit hole went on that. But when I talked to her today, and, it's been a really good day for me. I mean, with the therapist calling yesterday and finally setting that appointment and getting that started, so to speak, or whatever, And then today I had an interview. I think I mentioned in one of my other videos that I was in the process of not only transitioning me, but transitioning jobs as well. I work for a nationwide pizza chain, who I will not say, but I worked on the corporate side, and it kind of sucked. It was getting, pretty monotonous, and I was just getting sick of it. I mean, my store, I live in an area where the only corporate store in the particular chain that I work for, it's killing you, isn't it? Which one? Which one? We only had one corporate store in the area, so, which was about, 26 miles from me. So yeah, I mean, we're talking about a lot of commuting. I mean, roughly about a 50-mile round trip to and from work 5 days a week in a 2003 Mustang GT. Yeah, I mean, $200+ a month at least just in gas. And with my wife now not living with me, and me kind of having to fend for myself financially, I mean, I can't fucking afford it. There's no way in hell. So anyway, I started talking with one of the other stores. It's like 5 minutes from my house, but they belong to the franchise group that own the other 4 stores in the area. And it turns out they actually needed managers, and there was availability and blah blah blah. But due to the fact that I worked for corporate, or did work for corporate, they could not really talk to me about employment because it was a conflict of interest, which I get. I understand that it's bad juju. So, they pretty much told me, we can hire you, but not until you don't work for them anymore. So I kind of had to more or less put my 2 weeks in at the location I was at, with just the understanding and the word from these people that once that time was up, they would hire me, which I realized was, a pretty risky move and possibly very stupid if it didn't work out. But it did, and I interviewed with them today. My last day at my store was Valentine's Day. Yeah, which sucked ass, by the way, but we won't go there. So, yeah, I went and talked to them today about starting with them, and they said, we can move forward. We got to do a background check. As long as the background check comes back, criminal background check, then you're good to go. So I went and talked to the lady that's basically like the bona fide district manager of the franchise stores. So I mean the area director, as she calls it. So went and talked to her today. Really, really sweet lady. Talked to her for like 2 hours. I think I was there talking to her just about everything. I mean, not this, but everything else. But she called me back about 5 o'clock and offered me a position at the company, at the store that's 5 fucking minutes from my house. Which means I could fill my car up with gas, and if I probably last me about a week and a half without a whole lot of extra running around. I mean, my daughter still lives, about 20 miles from me, but I mean, it's not like I make that trip every day over there. I pick her up on weekends and when I have time off and, time to do that, and that's just kind of the arrangement that my wife and I have right now. So, and the kicker with all that was I was expecting, because I had told them that, in order to come work for them, I would be willing to go down $1 an hour in pay, just because of the fact that even losing $1 an hour, which is what, $40 a week, I would still technically wouldn't be losing money because of how much it cost me in gas to go to the other store. So it made sense in my head. If it doesn't make sense in yours, leave me alone. Anyway, so I actually am being brought in with the franchise group, same position, same title, same pay. Yay! So that really shocked me. I'm really happy about that. And they said that was just a starting point, that they've got availability for actual store managers, coming up really soon, and that, they didn't see, whereas I would probably be too far away from being in a position to accept one of those positions. So that's great. I'm really excited, really happy. So, which means I won't have to, there won't be a long lingering period in between leaving one job and starting another, because I don't really like doing that. So I will start my new job Monday. So, which is good. Really happy about that. And so anyway, my mom calls me earlier to, just to see how the whole interview thing went and all that kind of stuff. So, very bad habit. Very expensive habit. If you don't do it right now, don't do it. Don't be the cool guy or girl or both, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, she calls me today and just to, chit chat how the interview go, blah blah blah, yada yada, and so it was just, I don't really know why, but I just felt the need to kind of more or less tell her everything. So that's what I did. And I kind of got into why my wife and I really split up, and not just the the bullshit that I've been telling people, which is more or less that we just were at the point we weren't getting along. We just decided it was time for us to move on. So that's kind of the truth. But I mean, the moral of that story is, hey babe, I want boobs, and take it or leave it. So, my mom and I had about an hour-long conversation about everything, which pretty much resulted in her saying, well, duh, I was wondering when this was going to happen. And I'm just thinking, well, fuck, why couldn't you have told me like 10 years ago? Shit, bitch. But anyway, my mom and I have like an awesome relationship. We've been through a hell of a lot together, and just knowing that right now I've got 1 out of 2 parents that will wholeheartedly support me is just a tremendous weight off my shoulders. As I'm sure many of you have either gone through or will be going through, it's definitely nice to know that, no matter who else criticizes or judges you or doesn't accept you for who you are, it's just, as long as, mommy's there, it definitely, to me, just feels amazing. So it's one of those things that just, it had to be done. My sister knew, who lives with my mom, so I just figured, I might as well go all in, which is what I did. Dad's another story. Dad's a douche. So, to a point. He's not, he's a little bit more, yeah, he's just an ass. He's, and I've talked about my dad in some of these other videos. And I love my dad to death. He's been through a fucking hell of a lot lately. And I would bend over backwards. If he called me right now saying, hey, I've got to go to the emergency room, something's fucking wrong, I would probably haul ass over there just like this and deal with the consequences later. That's the connection I have with my dad. So, don't get me wrong. It's not that I don't love him or anything like that. My dad's just, I don't know how well he would, deal with this. Do I think he would push me away? No, probably, maybe to a point at first, because he wouldn't understand it. But, irregardless, he's not going to find out anytime soon if I have anything to do about it. So, sorry. Mom's a different story. I knew my mom would not shun me or anything like that. It's just, I guess it was just the reality of, I now have my little list that I've talked about of people that I've told is up to about 13 now, I think. So, it's definitely getting up there. 13's a big number for someone that um, has never ever opened up to anyone about this kind of stuff. So the list keeps getting bigger and bigger, it seems, every couple days. So it's just a matter of, I guess, who I feel comfortable talking to about all this and who I think will accept it and who I kind of sort of think might not. Those are the ones that I haven't really mentioned it to yet. Obviously, no one in the Army, well, actually, no one in my unit in the Army. But I did tell a really good close friend of mine that was in my unit that is now not in my unit anymore, who was also 100% supportive, and just, she is just so awesome, such a good friend, and her advice was just, be whoever it is that you are without worrying about any kind of repercussions in life. You only live once, YOLO. So, yeah, which was just totally awesome. We chatted on Facebook for like 2 hours back and forth. I think I sent her a couple of pictures, and she's texting me back. She's like, sorry it took me so long to text you back, but my jaw was on the floor, and I really didn't know what to say. And I can't believe it. You look so much, like a woman, and duh. Only been doing this for like 20 years, but whatever. It's definitely not perfect. I know. Ugh. Thank God this camera's not that great, because my face, even though it's got like the liquid foundation and the pressed powder on top of that and all that stuff, it's just, I don't know. I'm pretty out of practice when it comes to makeup. But I mean, I've got the whole like bump thing going on when I shave my neck, and it sucks. So laser hair removal is definitely something I'm looking forward to. I mean, I don't really know what the costs are that are associated with that. There are a few places around here that do it. Some of them even offer like in-house financing. So I mean, fuck it, if I have to go down somewhere and throw a couple $100 down to start getting, the laser hair removal done on the face and neck, and probably just start off with the face and neck for right now, just for the fact that I don't really, once the therapy sessions begin, and then I get to the point where I can go get the blood work done, start the hormones, I'll see what I'm working with once the hormones start working their magic. So, I mean, I already, I shave pretty much from head to toe. I've been doing that for years. That's not really a big issue. I don't mind shaving my legs or my chest. I tend to get ingrown hairs on the chest area and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I finally bought a bra. I'm kind of having a fit with this one, but it's a cheap-ass bra that I found at Walmart. It's a 40B, which oddly enough, this is mostly just padding. The bra is like super fucking padded, but the B is actually, I fit a B just with the man boobs. So, but yeah, it helps a little bit. I mean, obviously, I'm hoping to maybe grow into at least a C one of these days, but if not, then I'll just get the implants. Screw it. The reason I would want to be at least a C is because of my height. I mean, it's really kind of a rule of thumb that when you see a woman that's around 6'1", or 6 foot plus, I guess you could say, normally they're pretty stacked, unless they're, like supermodels and weigh like 100 pounds, and even then, it's, normally a taller woman means a bigger woman. There's not a whole lot of instances. There are some, but I mean, there's not really a whole lot of instances where you see, a 6 foot tall woman that's not pretty stocky. I mean, in all honesty. If there are any like 6 foot tall, oh my god, women watching this, I don't mean that in a bad way at all. It's just kind of, I mean, my sister's like 6'1", I'm 6'3", so my sister's she's a big bitch. Literally. I mean, she's lost a lot of weight, and she looks good, but she's very tall, and she's got it going on in here. So Um, she's gonna fucking kill me when she watches this. But anyway, um, so I mean, I would be comfortable with the C at least. I mean, but very rarely, I guess. I mean, do hormones alone really? I haven't seen a whole lot of cases on the internet of people that have grown from having no breast to a C cup anyway. But I mean, usually the best results tend to be the us boys that were a little chunky and had man boobies when we were little, and these babies will start taking a little bit of shape and hopefully swell up pretty well. So only time will tell. But yeah, like I probably won't worry about laser hair in this area and all that. Laser hair removal right up front. I mean, obviously the estrogen will cause most of my hair to lighten and maybe not grow back as fast or grow in a little thinner. I guess every case is different. So um, I'll just have to wait and see, I guess. See what happens. But so yeah, that's pretty much the gist of everything that I've set out to talk about with this whole thing. A little bit longer than I wanted to run it, but oh well. So yeah, therapy starting March 1st. Probably once a month, maybe twice a month if that. I don't really know. I believe the therapists and stuff that work with this particular LGB center are like volunteers. So they probably more or less just run their sessions and stuff when they have the time. So it's probably not very often, but I will probably do another video next weekend after I've done that, because I have drill. Actually, I have drill that Friday. My appointment is that Friday the 1st at noon. And I have a 3-day drill because we have to prepare for fucking annual training, which is actually in April this year instead of the norm, which would be July or August. But, oh well, yeah, it should be a good time. We're going to California. Yay. But, when I scheduled the appointment, I wasn't even thinking clearly. And I was like, today, I was like, oh, fuck, I have drill. So I called one of my buddies in my unit, and, I asked him if I needed to reschedule this appointment. And he doesn't know about the whole trans issue, but he knows that, some type of counseling or therapy is something that I needed anyway. But, I mean, fuck him. You don't have to know exactly what for. But so he actually told me that if I couldn't get it rescheduled, or if I can't talk, I get it rescheduled and it ends up having to be like weeks away, then that he would just let me leave a little bit early Friday and then just come back when I'm done, which was awesome. So I'll probably just do that. I'll probably just be like, oh yeah, they couldn't schedule it, and then we have to be pushed back until April, and we're not going to be here, and whatever. So, yeah, one way or the other, I'm making that fucking appointment. So, Uncle Sam is not gonna fuck that one up, I can tell you that. So yeah, I will probably post another video once I go to my first therapy session, and kind of give you guys an update on how that went, and maybe what to expect if you're getting ready to start doing something like that. I mean, obviously, I guess case by case, people will experience different things, but yeah. So today's been a good day. Yesterday was a good day. So everything that I've shifted in my life to try to accommodate for this is going as planned so far. I really don't know about whether or not the franchise company is going, whether or not they're trans friendly. I'm not really sure about the corporate side of it, whether or not they were trans friendly, but I mean, there's no way in hell I was going to ask anyone at that store. So, I will find out, and being a franchise, I guess they kind of have a few more options as far as how they want to run shit. So, I mean, maybe it'll work out for the best. Maybe one day I will be going to work and not him. That's right, you guys have never seen him. Haha. Hopefully never will. But he's pretty good looking too. I'll just put that out there. Anyway. So yeah, I will talk to you guys next weekend, or post another video probably Friday night, maybe March 1st. So yeah, please continue. I'll just really quick. Please continue to watch. I've had my videos up here on YouTube now for about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks maybe. And I mean, I've already got over 200 views. I've got 4 subscribers now, so thank all 4 of you. But for Christ's sake, somebody fucking leave me some comments. Tell me anything. Tell me to fuck off. That's fine. I will reply and say, okay, off I have fucked. Boom. Please, someone just, and just keep watching and keep being true to yourself. As always, that's kind of my end line. But yeah, I mean, I'm no viral superstar or anything like that. But it's just nice to know that the messages and my particular story that I'm sharing with the world is actually at least watched. And hopefully someone is getting something out of this, because that's really all it's about. I mean, just trying to share my experiences and my feelings, and especially with the whole coming out to friends and family and stuff like that, is definitely, anytime something like that pivotal happens with me, I plan on sharing it with my YouTube viewers. And just, it's a very good way for me to just kind of sit back, relax, and just talk, and know that someone out there is listening, because I don't really have anyone to talk to at home. So I kind of do all this, spend an hour working on face and makeup and shaving and all this kind of stuff just to look good for you guys. So I hope that I do. Anyway, much love, YouTube. Stay true to yourself. If someone doesn't like you for who you are, fuck them. Bye.